now 84% of you say yes, 16% say no, we're not doing very well in this one.
And by the way, tonight's question generated the biggest response of any fireback question we've ever done. So I want to thank you for that.
Colorado, as you know, began the year with a pioneering move, becoming the first state where you can buy recreational pot, marijuana. The lines have been long, sales brisk. It's a story with huge implications and a lot of different facets. Now, we're going to be focusing on a lot of the different angles in our special series all this week onto pot. In a new CNN ORC poll we commissioned, 55% said they think marijuana should be legal, more than half. That's a big shift in support. It's up 26%. It was 26% in 1996, just 18% in 1973. Here's another measure. Today, just 35% said smoking marijuana is morally wrong, compared with 70% back in 1987. Over the next few days, we're going to look at why so many now support the use of marijuana, and also why many still oppose it. No matter where you stand on the issue, one fact is undeniable. Pot is big business, and in Colorado, many people are looking to cash in, including the state's treasury. Randy Kay reports.
Which one was this one?
This is the Hong Kong Sour Diesel.
At the Grove in Denver, it's hardly business as usual. This marijuana dispensary has gone from serving 25 to 50 customers a day selling medical marijuana to about 400 people daily, now that recreational pot is legal.
We definitely did get in at the right time. We're able to get on the bandwagon with the recreational.
Erin Phillips and her husband own the Grove, along with 7 other dispensaries around the Denver area, under their parent company, Strainwise. Before this, they were in the real estate business. When they opened their doors on January 1st, the first day pot was legal here for those 21 and older, they were swamped by customers.
It was very, very busy. We had people lining up before the doors opened. Throughout the day, we pretty much had about a 3 to 3.5 hour wait. We had people coming in the door just stunned. They were all like kids in a candy store.
Which is exactly why investment groups are sinking money into Colorado. Arkview Investments has dropped $3 million nationwide on cannabis companies, $1 million of that right here in Colorado. Arkview's CEO believes cannabis is the next great American industry and is predicting 64% growth in the next year. Erin's husband, Sean Phillips, says dispensaries here sure can use investor money.
Most of the retailers probably spent between $50,000 and $200,000 to get their shops up and going. A large grow could be anywhere from $400,000 to a couple million, depending upon what they put in it.
Thank you.
Our best seller is Jack Flash. It gives you all of the effects of an indica, which kind of relaxes you, can put you to sleep, with also some of the effects of a sativa, which will keep you awake.
Can I take a smell of it?
Absolutely.
Wow, it smells strong.
It's very strong.
They've sold about 20 pounds of marijuana every day. Colorado residents can buy up to an ounce, but the Grove more often sells 1/8 of an ounce.
So let me give you an idea of what 1/8 of an ounce looks like. Here it is right here. And here at the Grove, this will cost you $60 plus tax, so it comes out to about $73. Now, one of the reasons that they're setting their prices higher here is so that they don't run out of supply. But this is a learning process, and the owners know they have to see how it goes, but they do expect prices to come down.
You know, I think that this could be a very big year for us and the company as a whole. I can't give you specific numbers, but I think that we will do probably 2 or 3 times what we did last year based on the numbers that we've seen so far this year.
The National Cannabis Industry Association is projecting recreational marijuana sales will exceed $200 million in Colorado this year, handing the state $67 million in tax revenue.
Randy Kay joins us now live from Denver. Are store owners able to keep up with this high demand, Randy?
Well, Anderson, what's crazy is that some dispensaries have actually run out of their supply already, which is incredible because this is just the first week. But here at this grow house, which belongs to Sean and Erin Phillips, who you saw in our story, they, as you can see, are in no danger of running out of their supply. Even though they're open 7 days a week, they have 20,000 square feet of space here filled with marijuana plants, Anderson.
Wow. Randy, appreciate it. Thanks very much. We'll have more all week on this. Brian Schweitzer is the former governor of Montana who fought to keep medical marijuana legal while he was in office. He joins us now. So medical marijuana is legal in your state, which probably a lot of people don't even realize. What was your experience with it in Montana?
Well, we passed it by initiative. Nearly 70% of Montana voted for it in 2004. But since the Bush administration was still enforcing federal law, very few people were willing to tread in that territory. So there were probably only a few hundred medical marijuana cards that were issued. After Obama was elected, the Holder Attorney General Office issued what was called the Ogden Memo. And this was a fellow who worked there, effectively telling us states, and I think there was 15 of us at the time, who had medical marijuana, that if your providers followed your state law, they were going to be hands off. And so we states that had medical marijuana saw a marked increase in number of consumers and producers. We had about 30,000 people in Montana that were card-carrying medical marijuana users.
And you had reputable business people going into this
Main
business.
Street businesses who invited county commissioners and police to come in, wanted to make sure that they were following the letter of the law and everything.
But then
they
the
were
federal
doing.
government cracked down.
Yeah, worse yet. We were in the middle of a legislative session because people were concerned that some of these people that got medical marijuana cards were just like dudes.
Right.
You know, that wanted to smoke pot, and so they got some doctor to give them a card.
Which
So
is an issue. I mean,
Yeah,
in a lot of these places in California, it's like that.
Fair enough. And so we were working on legislation that would, you know, close this thing up a little bit. The legislature sent me a bill repealing it. And I said, no, wait a minute. 70% of Montana voted for this thing, and I vetoed it. Let's get this thing right. So we're in the middle of crafting this medical marijuana bill in Montana that works. The feds came in, arrested a bunch of these people that were the largest producers, and put them in federal prison.
So what is your, while you were watching that piece, you would say, be careful, Colorado, folks in
I'd be
Colorado,
very
because the
careful.
federal government still views this as illegal.
I wouldn't trust them. They did it to us in Montana.
To those who say, look, this is a slippery slope, do you believe a legalization for recreational purposes should occur?
I think Colorado and Washington was probably a pretty good experiment. I think the federal government, like usual, ought to stay the hell out of the states' businesses. They ought to just let states decide. If a state doesn't want medical marijuana, don't have it. If a state wants medical marijuana and it passes through their legislature or citizen initiative, let them regulate it.
How much money do you think this can bring the states? Medical
I don't
marijuana
know.
or...
This is interesting. Colorado claims that I think it's a 27% tax when you consider all the taxes that they're going to put on it. And some think that it could bring them hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think we know.
To those who say, look, this is a slippery slope, who this is going to encourage young people to start to use it, if it's recreational, if it's legalized for recreational purposes, what do you say?
Well, we regulate alcohol, and we're not supposed to be selling it to people that aren't old enough to buy it. We're not supposed to be using it when we drive on our highways, but sometimes people do. I think probably every city in America, if you want to buy some pot, you can buy some pot from somebody. It's already out there. People have made those decisions. Some people smoke pot now, and some people will smoke pot after it's legal. I think we need to watch what happens in Colorado and Washington. Let's just watch. And if those other 48 states don't want to do that, let those states make those decisions. As usual, the federal government gets it wrong.
Governor Schweitzer, it's always good to have you on. Thank you very much.
Good to be back.
Appreciate it. Up next.
Are you ready? Are you ready to try? In a holy Mount Zion, you got to make your decisions, but don't wait too long.